Deep in the heart of a vast jungle, where emerald green trees stretched endlessly and rivers glistened under the golden sun, lived a mighty lion named Raja. He was the undisputed king of the jungle, but his reign was built on fear rather than respect. Each day, he demanded that the animals bring him food, threatening to devour them if they disobeyed. The creatures of the jungle, deer, monkeys, foxes, and birds, trembled at the mere mention of his name. His roars echoed through the land, a constant reminder of his power. One day, as the jungle lay bathed in golden morning light, the animals gathered in a hidden clearing, whispering anxiously among themselves. It was time to decide which creature would be sacrificed to the lion that day. Fear clung to the air like a thick fog. "It's unfair," cried a young deer, his eyes wide with terror. "Why must we continue to suffer?" "We have no choice," an old tortoise said solemnly. "If we refuse, he will hunt us all." A small voice spoke up. "Perhaps we do have a choice." The animals turned to see a tiny rabbit standing confidently before them. Though small and seemingly weak, his eyes sparkled with intelligence. "Strength is not the only power in the world," he continued. "Sometimes, wit can defeat might." The animals murmured among themselves. Could this little rabbit truly stand against Raja? The elders, fearing there was no other way, decided to send the rabbit to the lion. The jungle held its breath as the small creature set off toward Raja's den. But unlike the others who had gone before him, the rabbit was not afraid. Instead, he moved slowly, deliberately delaying his arrival. By the time he reached the lion's den, the great beast was pacing impatiently, his golden mane bristling with anger. His stomach growled louder than the thunder before a storm. "Why are you late?" Raja roared, his voice shaking the trees. The rabbit, panting and feigning exhaustion, bowed low. "Oh mighty Raja, please forgive me," he gasped. "It was not my fault. I was on my way when I encountered another lion in the jungle." Raja's eyes narrowed. "Another lion?" he growled. "In my jungle?" "Yes, Your Majesty," the rabbit said, trembling. "He was massive, stronger than you, and he claimed to be the true king. He stopped me and declared that from now on, all animals must serve him instead of you." Raja let out an earth-shaking roar that sent birds flying from the treetops. "How dare he challenge me? Where is this impostor?" The rabbit hesitated, as if afraid to speak. I can show you," he said hesitantly. "But please be careful, Your Majesty. He is fierce, and he boasted that he would defeat you in an instant." Raja bared his teeth. "Take me to him at once." The rabbit led the lion deep into the jungle, winding through thick vines and towering trees. The jungle grew darker as they ventured further, the air heavy with mystery. Finally, they arrived at an old, abandoned well. Its stone walls were covered in moss, and deep within, still water reflected the world above like a perfect mirror. "He is in there," the rabbit whispered, stepping back cautiously. "He said he would fight you to prove his strength." Raja stomped forward, muscles tense, and peered into the well. At the bottom, he saw a mighty lion staring back at him. It had piercing eyes, a golden mane, and a fierce expression, mirroring his own fury. When Raja bared his teeth, the lion below did the same. When he roared, the reflection roared back with equal menace. "Come out and fight me, coward!" Raja bellowed, his voice shaking the ground. The enemy lion roared back in perfect synchronization. Enraged, Raja leaped into the well, expecting to pounce on his rival. But instead, he plunged straight into the deep water. A mighty splash echoed through the jungle as the lion thrashed, his powerful paws unable to grasp the slippery walls. The rabbit peered over the edge, watching as Raja struggled. His roars turned into desperate cries as he realized his mistake. The reflection had been none other than himself. The mighty lion, once feared by all, had been outwitted by a tiny rabbit. "Farewell, mighty Raja," the rabbit called cheerfully. "Enjoy your new kingdom at the bottom of the well." Then, without another word, he hopped away, his heart light with triumph. Back in the jungle, the rabbit returned to the clearing where the animals had gathered, their eyes filled with worry. At first, they could hardly believe their ears when he announced Raja's downfall. But as the minutes passed and the lion's roars faded into silence, they knew it was true. A wave of joy swept through the jungle. Birds erupted into song, monkeys swung through the trees, and deer pranced through the fields. The days of fear and oppression were over. For the first time in years, the animals were free. From that day forward, the jungle flourished. The animals lived in harmony, no longer cowering in fear. The clever rabbit became a hero, not because of his size or strength, but because of his intelligence and courage. His story was told for generations, a reminder that wisdom and wit could overcome even the greatest of foes. Though the lion had been strong, his arrogance had been his downfall. The rabbit had shown that power was not just about strength, it was about knowing how to use one's mind. And so, in the heart of the jungle, under the golden rays of the sun, peace returned once more, all thanks to a small but clever rabbit who dared to stand against a king.